Yeah, I'm good.
I'm breaking out in a hot sweat here. I don't know what's going on.
Fix your headroom a bit. See how my head is just a little line? You've got half headroom, half. Or you don't want to show your body. That's what's going on.
Buddy, I got a great body.
Yeah,
Don't
try and
shame
keep
me,
it like that.
motherfucker.
I'm not ashamed.
Normally, I wouldn't listen to Clint. I would only take those cues from Spencer. But I'm going to...
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton and Adam here as we are weekly. Thanks for joining us. How you doing today, buddy?
I feel like I'm in a sauna or something. I just started sweating a couple of minutes ago. My face is hot. I'm good. Other than that, I'm good. I'm real good.
Nervous?
I don't know. Yeah, what is the show 218? The first 217, I feel like kind of was on cruise control. But yeah, I'm pretty intense now.
Spencer just did something. Did your screen just go googly?
Oh, my screen just went crazy. I love that.
All right. That's all right. After the technical difficulties I had last week, anytime my screen blinks, I'm like, what did I do now? Tonight we're going to welcome Matt Weaver to join us. Go ahead.
Well, Spencer grew a sense of humor. It took him 216 shows and then finally started playing jokes on us last week. So we can't trust anything.
You deserved it, though. Well, we are getting close to racing season, closer than ever. Man, I can't believe we're only a month and a bit out for our home opener at Oshweekend. You know, our racing kicks off in 2 weeks at Merrittville and on the pavement stuff real soon. So, won't be long at all, man. So as I was saying, tonight we're going to welcome Matt Weaver to the show here in a couple minutes. Matt is the preeminent NASCAR reporter on the scene, everything racing in the South. And we're blessed to have Matt on. He broke a big story this week about Denny Hamlin and Marcus Smith going at it from Speedway Motorsports and Speedway Motors, the track conglomerate. And we'll talk to him about that and how we caught all that. Of course, we got a variety of Burger Barn videos of the week. We're going to have some fun with that again this week. Talk about some racetrack safety and everything else, man. What's going on? What do you want to talk about this week?
You know what? Everything you mentioned, I'm excited that we get to have Bailey Hurd on the show, Clinton. I think his story, you know, we could have done a better job over the years probably telling his story because it's David and Goliath, quite literally, in the pits at Oshweekend. He's going a different direction this year. Hopefully he's going to go and experience that and come back to us. But I'm pretty happy for him. That's very cool.
Yeah, I had to give you a bit of shit in jest in the chat. I'm like, oh, great. So the guy announced he's not coming back to the track I promote, and you want to bring him on and talk about him on the show. That's real good for my business plan, Adam. But Adam brought up.
And what did I say? And what did I say?
Hey, making life choices, we got to support it. And I agree. I was just busting your balls, of course. But
no, it's good. It's Brian, a good point.
Yep. I was going to say, Brian, there's your banner. There's your next free lunch. Let's bring on Matt Weaver. We don't want to waste his time. He's busy. We've been trying to get him for about 6 weeks, and we finally nailed it down. I can see his beautiful face. So bring Matt Weaver on. Matt, welcome to the program, man. You've had a busy start to this season, and it seemed like since the first couple weeks of NASCAR, we've needed to get back with you. What a season it's been for NASCAR. So before we jump into that, maybe let some of our newer viewers know where you write and the beats you cover.
I lost you for a second. Let the viewers know what?
Let the viewers know where they can find your write-ups and the beat you cover.
Oh, listen, I'll just say, you know, look me up on social media, the Facebook page, the Twitter X page. I'm a motorsports guy, right? Like most people know me because of my NASCAR coverage, but they don't realize that I own, short track scene, pavement short track website, cover dirt racing. I would dare to say I am probably the most versatile, dynamic motorsports reporter in North America. Like, no cap.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think if someone is a traditional fan of motorsports, they should follow what you're doing, Matt, because you've got your ear to the ground. What you're covering really is the hottest thing. And I mean, I'm not kissing your ass. I'm just pointing out that your finger is on the pulse. So where you go is probably where the action is at a given time. So good for you
I'm
for
glad,
that.
yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that because, like, to me, my vision for the way that I cover the events that I go to is not that I'm trying to overstate my value or what I do, but I want people to at least have the perception that, well, if Weaver is at that race, then it's a big deal, like of every kind, right? Whether it's going to Chili Bowl, whether it's the NASCAR races, the Indianapolis 500, Knoxville Nationals, Snowball Derby, the Stray Formula One race, World Rally Championship, right? Like, I want people to go, oh, Weaver's here. That must be a big deal. I did the Eldora Million last year, right? I did some SRX races, and so that's cool to see people kind of embrace that because that's the thing. I love motorsports, and there are a lot of really good storytellers who focus on just one discipline, but like I like to look at things kind of holistically and what is the big picture when it comes to racing on the whole.
Matt, the story that caught our attention this week was obviously Denny Hamlin jaw-jacking with Marcus Smith about the track conditions and stuff like that. And I got to tell you, so we're race fans. We see all the stuff on social. We have our own little like Facebook dump where we throw any stories we want to cover. Adam and I both shared it. And then we were like, shit, Matt wrote that. So what a story to break. Now, I sent Spencer, our producer, some screenshots. So hopefully we get them in the right order and don't mess this up. So, Spencer, show screenshot one if you can. So I think it started here, Matt. Is this where it all started? And we'll try and follow on. Maybe you tell the story of it.
Yeah, I'll break it down. So listen, the thing that everyone saw, because there's more layers to it, is that Denny Hamlin shared the tweet on the screen there and basically suggesting that Sonoma Raceway, which was recently repaved back in December and is already starting to come up and needed to be repaved and touched up, that basically insinuated that Speedway Motorsports is cheap and shoddy when it comes to their repaving approach, and that North Wilkesboro Speedway, which was also just repaved, is going to be next. And Marcus responded to it and said, "This is a great post from someone who doesn't know what he's talking about, and I'm going to leave this tweet up until Denny calls or texts me and I can educate him." And Denny responded back and said, no need to delete. We've seen Speedway Motorsports track record of when they try to undo things. And Marcus responded with, basically, that's great coming from a guy that, has never closed out on the championship. What would you know about closing out on things? And it got really deeply personal. And, the funny thing was for me, this was happening on Thursday night, early Friday morning at midnight to like 1:15 in the morning. Like, I'm getting ready to go to bed. And I'm like, let me go check the old Twitter feed. And I'm like, oh my God, is this real? Have they both been hacked? Is this a marketing ploy? Are they trying to build to something? And it was real. It was real and in the heat of the moment. And everyone saw the tweets. But what they didn't know, and we didn't fully know, although we kind of guessed, is what the underlying narrative is here. Everyone may or may not know that right now, NASCAR, the teams, and the tracks still do not have a deal, a revenue sharing agreement for 2025 and beyond. The charter agreement, the entire financial structure of the sport is still yet to be decided, and it's gotten very ugly. The teams have hired the top sports antitrust lawyer in the country, the same guy that won the NCAA NIL deal, who's gotten college athletes paid. It's that lawyer. the teams have hired that lawyer to work on their behalf while basically going to negotiation war with NASCAR over how much money they're going to get in this next TV deal, which starts next year. And basically, the easiest way, I'm getting long-winded, is that right now the tracks receive 65% of the TV money. And Denny Hamlin said that the NASCAR owned tracks are great. They're reinvesting, they're putting appropriate money, revenue into their facilities, and Speedway Motorsports is not. And you see it in, Atlanta and North Wilkesboro and now Sonoma, and the way their garage areas are. And so you throw all that into a blender, and he made it personal, Marcus made it personal, and they've since talked, we move on. But there's way more under the surface than if you just look at the tweets.
So who wins in this exchange, Matt?
Well, race fans looking for entertainment during the stretch of short track races at a period where NASCAR short track racing has never been worse. So if we can't get entertainment on Sundays at Richmond and Martinsville, well, at least we're getting the midweek entertainment. But listen, I don't know. I don't know that anyone wins, but what I do think is that, listen, say what you want about Denny and his tact and his approach. I think we should all be very grateful as racing enthusiasts that we have a high profile competitor participant that's not afraid to share his opinions, not afraid to drive conversation. And sometimes NASCAR and Speedway Motorsports, they need to be punched a little bit, right? Like, I think sometimes complacency leads us to the worst possible outcomes. And you need a guy like Denny Hamlin who's not afraid to take a jab here and there. And I think that was a wake-up call for SMI and for NASCAR. And I think the tracks will probably be better because of it.
Matt, one of our viewers just asked, is NASCAR done with dirt?
I hope not. I've asked the question and they all say, it has to be the right place and the right time. And, the Bristol experiment was always more about TV. Fox wanted to do it, and Bristol was the right partner because their spring date had been lacking attendance, enthusiasm, what have you. And so it was kind of the perfect storm. My opinion is like one of my favorite things about NASCAR is that you get a little bit of everything, right? You've got short tracks, intermediate, super speedways, road courses. Finally, the Cup Series is on the street course racing train. We've had a dirt race the last couple of years. I loved the versatility that it required, again, as a versatile rider. I love the fact that a guy like Bubba Pollard can go down to run Richmond. And when you have the dirt race, you have Jonathan Davenport last year doing the Cup dirt race, and you've got all these, IndyCar and Kimi Räikkönen, Formula One drivers coming over. Shane Van Gisbergen can make the jump. Cam Waters running a truck race in Martinsville, and I think the diversity of the schedule allows for like this giant motorsports melting pot. And it would be a shame to me as a racing fan if we no longer have dirt racing be part of the national touring landscape. Because I think back to like Knoxville, and you had Brian Brown and you had Donnie Schatz running a NASCAR Truck Series race. So I think when you have those really diverse schedules, it allows for all these really cool cameos. And I thought, I know the dirt racing hardcore fans are like, well, they should run a real dirt car. I thought the next gen cars running at Bristol was a really good show, and I hope we get a chance to do it somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, for what the cars are, for what the track was, I agree with you. I mean, it was a pretty good show. It was different, and I think that was the goal, to get different style of eyeballs, different type of event. I guess, Matt, I want to go back to the fact that this TV deal, we have seen every sport go through lockouts and player strikes. Have things ever been better after a strike or a lockout? Or is there always going to be a period of suffering? Like, what are we in for here when things really come to a head?
I think back to the old Cold War era because I'm a big history buff. The old Cold War era proverb, if you will, is that you know ceasefire is Russian for I need time to reload my bullets. And so there's always a temporary peace, and it seems like things are better until the next round of negotiation. We just saw it in Major League Baseball. I'm a big baseball guy, and their latest collective bargaining agreement was particularly contentious. Listen, the hardest thing in the world, and everyone in racing, especially racers, know this to be true. The hardest thing in the world is separating someone from their money. And so when it comes to like sponsorship stuff, right? Like hardest thing in the world is to talk someone into, giving you money. Um, I think, you know, I think NASCAR and the teams and the tracks, they'll get to a better place. I'm sure NASCAR is going to have to make some concessions. They're going to have to give up a little bit of their pot. The tracks, Speedway Motorsports going full circle to Denny and Marcus. They're going to have to give some stuff up. The teams have already had to give stuff up too. I mean, we've moved to the spec car platform that not a lot of the hardcore racers particularly enjoy. A lot of people have been laid off. The teams have had to cut, and NASCAR tells them, well, you need to cut more, and the teams are like, we have nothing left to cut, and so that's why it's gotten so ugly, right? And so I think they have to get something done because you know if they do not get something done before Daytona next year, NASCAR will then take all the charters away. They'll run a race. It'll be like Carton and the IRL, right? It'll be like a split, and you know the teams can go race anywhere for anyone. That's the doomsday scenario. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we've all learned our history over the years from AAA and kart, kart in the IRL, and we're learning lessons now with World of Outlaws and High Limit too of how messy that can get when you risk splitting a racing enterprise into two. And so I think they'll come together, but the financial landscape of sports altogether has changed. There's the thing we're not talking about enough, like in my profession, is betting money. We're talking about TV money, but sports are now being, injected with this huge revenue stream from betting money as legalized gambling opens up across the country. And so there's just a lot of things for these three parties to work towards, and it means separating people from their money, and that's the hardest thing in the world to do.
Matt, switching gears, Canada in 2025. Are we going to see the Cup Series here in Montreal? It's been speculated. We know it's been a lot of work. What are you hearing?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that it was going to be a done deal. I mean, everyone in the garage was being told, yeah, we're going to Montreal, next year, which would have been this year, and the schedule was supposed to be out in August and then September and then October, and so it just got to be the point to where clearly there's some sort of holdup. And now I don't sense the same enthusiasm for Montreal that I did. I don't know what that's obviously not a. I love Montreal. I've been a handful of times and I love going up there, but I don't know the promoters. I don't know the political dynamic. That's just not my area of expertise. I know NASCAR values Canada, and I think they're exploring a lot of different ways to get there. I'm becoming more of the mindset that I think most sport will be more viable than going to Montreal. And listen, I love Canada in general. I mean, I love you guys. I love being up there in that racing culture. Um, I would personally prefer to go to Montreal. I love that city. I love that racetrack. I thought the Xfinity races there back in the day were the greatest thing in the world. But I don't care. At the end of the day, as long as we get a chance to go up there and that NASCAR can kind of shed a spotlight on the racing culture up there, it'll be a great opportunity to talk about the Canada Series, to be able to do a segment on APC late models, I think it would be really cool to be there in some capacity, and I think NASCAR values it. It's just a matter of how.
Well said, but do you really think, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot here. I love going to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, Mossport. Um, but is it equipped to be able to host the kind of activity that would have to host for a premier? And I'm sorry to the Fellows family. Like, I love it there. I just, is it a facility that could handle that?
I think that conversation in 2024, 2025 is a vastly different conversation than it would have been, in the peak era of NASCAR. And I think that look no further than North Wilkesboro Speedway, the fact that, that's now a viable um, racetrack and facility and place to go to. And that's on the far end scale. But even Martinsville, I mean, Martinsville is now, just a normal place to go to. I don't think they're now. I'm talking myself out of it. If you know it's your only chance to go race somewhere in Canada for fans to go see a race in Canada, they're going to pack that place out way more than they would have for the Truck Series and for the Canada Series, like they used to. And I don't know. I haven't been to that facility, so I can't tell you. But here's the thing we've learned between going back to North Wilkesboro, between the Coliseum Clash. I think with Ben Kennedy in charge of the schedule, they are way more open to doing really creative things and doing things in a way that at first blush does not seem obvious. Maybe there's a stadium somewhere in the summer that we can go take a race to and in a downtown setting. And I know a lot of people will roll their eyes, but to me, it's like selfishly, I want a trip to cross the chance to have a chance to cross the border. So I don't care. My point is that there's all sorts of places we can go race. Ben Kennedy is open to trying all sorts of different things. And, is Mossport a cup facility now? I don't know, but there's a lot of places now that I would have not thought would have been cup facilities. Gateway, and I love Gateway. You say nothing against the Fellows. I'm like nothing against Curtis Francois. I think that Gateway would not have been a cup facility 10, 15 years ago, and it is now. So times have changed.
I think could CTMP hold 35, 40, 50,000 people? Absolutely, it could. I think, man, that got my fire lit. I fall in love with CTMP the last 5 years, so I would kill to have a cup race at CTMP. Switching it up, last one I got for you, Matt, before we let you go. SRX, what are you hearing about SRX these days?
Yeah, so I've talked to Hawk. So obviously, since we've last talked, they've formally been sold or more so acquired by Skip Barber. I don't know what the terms are. I do know that one of the major investors in the series was Skip Barber, and so Skip Barber was owed a lot anyway. And so I don't know totally what that transaction looked like, but I do know there were a lot of interested parties in acquiring the cars and the brand. And I know that Skip Barber wants to do something with it. My gut tells me I don't think there's anything there. The thing that made SRX even potentially viable was they had the TV deal, right? They were on CBS in the States, they were on ESPN. That made it a viable program. Now, if you're just going to have these cars, here's the thing: they bought the cars and they bought the branding. So could they do a race of some kind? Yeah. Will it be the SRX that we came to know and love, and the show that you guys hope to have down at the Big O this year? Probably not. But they have the branding, they have the cars, they have the relationships with a ton of marquee drivers. Maybe there's an avenue, do something with Flow Racing. I've heard that those conversations have happened. My gut says certainly not this year. I don't think we're going to see anything SRX related.
I'll close out with a bit of a lob ball for you, Matt. Nothing super important, but the Bubba Pollard behind the wheel of the '88 machine, and I guess Carson Quapple for that matter. Are these novelties? Are these auditions? I know Dale Earnhardt Jr. loves grassroots racing, so I mean, I love what he's doing there. What is the end run of pulling these drivers up? Is it just notoriety? Is it to give back to the sport, or are there plans for them?
Yeah, I mean Carson's situation is so much different because Carson is a legitimate prospect, super young. The Quapples don't have a ton of money. Chevrolet really believes in him. Dale Jr. really believes in him. So that was fundamentally different than Bubba Pollard because Bubba's 37, and I don't think Bubba ever saw a pathway for him to be a NASCAR driver. But, this is a testament to Bubba and his relationships with everyone over the years. But, you know, Bubba has a very strong relationship with J.R. Jones, who is the CEO of Ream. Um, Brandon Jones, his son, Xfinity Series driver. When Brandon was coming through the late model ranks before becoming a NASCAR regular, they leaned on Bubba heavily. And J.R. Jones never forgot how much that Bubba was willing to Georgia guy to Georgia guy, help them get acclimated. And it didn't hurt either that, and a lot of people don't realize this, that Brandon's crew chief, Philip Bell, is Bubba Pollard's cousin. So there's just a lot of like layers to what made that deal at Richmond work out. But he performed well outside of qualifying. He really set them back with qualifying, but still came back to get a sixth place finish. J.R. Jones came over to Bubba, and it sounds like they want to do it again. And it's always money. And I'll say this: I think they're going to go run Iowa in June, July, whenever that race day is. I think they're going to run Iowa together. If Bubba does well, they're going to get a ton of attention for it. Dale Jr., obviously, like you said, a big enthusiast for short track racing. They'll have a spotlight on it, and you never know. I mean, I didn't think Josh Berry, despite being younger than Bubba, I didn't think that Josh was ever going to be a NASCAR regular, much less a Xfinity Championship contender turned Cup Series full timer. And sometimes the lightning strikes and the right circumstances happen. Like Dale said to Bubba on the Dale Jr. download, he's 37 and he's got at least 6 to 7 really good peak years left. Maybe if he shows out well at Iowa, they put that deal together. Maybe we're going to get a Bubba Pollard, full-time NASCAR season. And as cool as that would be, the only thing I would push back on, as much as I would like to see it, as the guy that has covered Bubba Pollard more than anyone else, I would hate for short track racing to lose Bubba Pollard because the pavement side have so few tangible stars that if you lose him, it's really going to hurt that discipline because you've got Stephen Nasse, Derek Thorne, and I don't know that you have a lot of like adult pavement late model stars to build around.
Right on, Matt. As always, we appreciate your time and your insight. Don't be a stranger. Get your ass up to Canada. We got some awesome racing. We'd love to have you. Let's see if we can't work this out this summer in July.
Absolutely. Real quick before I go, public apologies. I know I've had you blow you guys off here a couple of weeks in a row. Had a lot of things going on. Lost my cat. Broke my heart. But I love doing this show. Love talking to you guys, and hope to do it again soon.
We appreciate you, Matt.
Appreciate it. Matt Weaver, like we said, the preeminent motorsports journalist in the South, from where we are anyways, but he's all over the place. Always great to have Matt join us.
And I'll tell you what, Clint, Matt is a fantastic advocate for what we do. Personally.
Yes.
It's just so cool to have someone like that in our corner. And, we stay to our neck of the woods, right? Matt goes everywhere. Matt's at every premier event. We stay north of the border. We stay in our sandbox for the most part. So how cool is it for someone to come along and show appreciation or at least give some validation that what we're doing up here is pretty cool.
Yeah, if you go to any major press media center at any major race, you're going to find Matt working hard. We'll jump in with our second guest. We still have a lot of Burger Mart videos this week. We got a lot of visuals still to get through. We do have a Southern Ontario Motor Speedway update. I know there's been a lot of chatter about that. I spoke to Craig March Sr. as of 4 or 5 o'clock tonight. So we'll bring you the latest and greatest news we've got there. before we get any further, let's bring in Bailey Hurd, who is deserting us and quitting. I'm just busting your balls, Bailey. I have to do that, but no, man, what a great story you've got. Are you in the famed racing shed that your dad's always sharing pictures of? Are we in the shed?
Yeah, this is it. That's all of it. So
to give our fans an idea, Spencer, put Bailey full screen. The car will not fit. The car in its entirety will not fit in the shop. So what you're looking at is the back wall of the shop with the tail tank touching it, and the other end of the shop, and I've never seen this, I just know by stories, as Bailey goes the other way, the car fills that space. So well done. And I got to tell you, Bailey, I'm a big fan because I appreciate what you and your family are able to do against some enormous budgets. First off, talk about the pride factor in that, the fact that you can be a regular top 10 competitor and you can do it on a, I don't know the money you spend, so I'm not going to jump to any conclusions, but you do not park on Millionaires Row.
No, yeah, it's we don't spend too much, but no, it feels good to be able to, you know, be up there with all of them and still putting it in every week and, you know, doing what we can. It feels good when we can pull off a good finish, like a top 10 or something like that, and kind of work off that for the next week. Yeah, it takes a lot. I mean, everybody that races knows that you got to pretty much put 100%, and that's what we do every week. So we're trying to make it work, and some nights it works and some nights it doesn't, you know.
Bailey, do you have to take the bumpers off that car to get it in there?
Oh, yeah.
The rear crasher off that
the front
car?
off. Yeah. Both front and rear bumpers are off.
So you need to shorten it up an extra foot to love it, man. So let's talk about what the plan is for 2024. You're leaving us on the dirt and going off to adventure out west. Is that what I'm understanding? Tell us about what your plan is for the season.
Yeah, so we we thought about it a lot and put a lot of thought into this. I've been thinking about doing something like this for, you know, a few years now, and a summer off and kind of doing my own thing. It works out this year. It'll probably be one of the last years that I would even be able to do that. To kind of skip out on the racing and kind of do what I'm doing, going out west, putting in a season with my girlfriend Megan, and so we're doing it. You know, we don't have all the time in the world, but this is probably the best time to do it. So I might have to give up a season of racing, but it is what it is. I've thought about it a lot. I'm definitely gonna miss it. There's nothing more that I want to do other than maybe go out on this little adventure, you know. So
now you know what you're and like Clinton and I had this conversation because you're leaving. That we don't want anyone to leave the track, but I'm so excited because I'm pretty sure you're going to be back. But let's be clear, you're doing something to do with whales. Like what the hell does someone from the Niagara area have in common with Wales and British Columbia? Walk me through this.
Well, last winter, I did a season in Banff out in the mountains. Met a lot of great people, a lot of great friends from really all over the place. So got a lot of connections through there. And basically, there was a thing for this job, which is basically a whale watching company that also does like backcountry kayak trips. So basically, I'll be working for the kayak company, you know, cleaning kayaks and making sure all the campsites are all good and driving around to different islands and doing all that fun stuff. Whales just happen to be involved in it, I guess. But it's something we've done my whole life. My parents have brought us out in the outdoors, and every weekend we'd be outside doing something and whatever, adventuring. So between that and racing, those are kind of my two loves, and it's time for this little adventure to start.
Bailey, you had a lot of great people behind you last year. I know you got the Creative Edge car behind you. I know Steve stepped up in a good way last year. You had a lot of great people that got you where you are. What's the response been from them when you have to stand up to them and say, hey, you guys been great and get me where I am, but I'm parking it for a year. How's the response been?
It's been really well, actually. That was one of the things that I wasn't sure how they're all going to react. I was pretty stressed out for a little while, but they're all good with it. I think they know that how passionate I am about doing something like this. But it couldn't have gone smoother. Like, everybody was very welcoming with it, and honestly, I couldn't be more thankful for it, because they have done a lot for us, and that's including all of my sponsors, even the little ones. They play a part in all of it.
For sure. The last question I've got for you, Bailey. What about your dad? Your dad lives for going racing with you. Is he happier to see you chasing a dream like this, or is he going to miss hauling that car to Washwegan every Friday?
Yeah, no, I think they're all going to miss it. He was probably a little bit taken away when I first talked about it with him, but other than that, he came to accept it, and now I think he's excited to do his own thing with my mom and going up north to a piece of land that they bought recently. So between that and they kind of get their summer back, they get to do whatever they want to do instead of, hauling my ass around, I guess, which I'm very thankful for. So, but no, they get to do their own little thing, which I'm sure they're going to enjoy too, but I'm sure he'll miss the racing.
Right on, Bailey, man. We wish you the best. You're a perfect example of the ladder system we've got at Washwegan, coming up through the dirt micro sprints to the crates to the 360s, and it's great to see you make good life choices. And we know you got the bug. We know you'll be back. So good luck with all you're doing. Stay safe out on the water, and make sure you get back to us safe in 2025.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely be back. I'm already missing it right now. So, but I know it's
keep up. Yeah, well, keep up with the social media posts. I want to see what there's like in the summer. I don't know what summers are like not at racetracks, so I'll live vicariously through you for the year. But thanks so much, Bailey.
Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be my first time too, so I'll be sure to post.
Right on, Bailey. Good luck, man. Travel safe. One of our young stars is leaving us, but gonna make some life choices. I think back to Tyler Willard many years ago. He was dominating sportsman, and he's got up and left. And I said, Tyler, what are you doing? He said, look, I don't want to be living out of a van in a trailer like Danny Johnson is when I'm 55 years old. So I'm going to get serious about life, make some life choices, and come back when I'm ready. And look at Tyler now. He's got a sprint car modified, successful business, and a beautiful home. So it's good to see you can make those choices and still come back to racing. So we wish Bailey the best.
If you look back over the years, Clinton, I mean, at weddings missed, and you don't miss a lot of weddings after the first couple because you just stop getting invited to them, right? Little things, but we have been at speedways every weekend of every summer pretty much for longer than 25 years. I mean, I'd go back to when I was 13 years old. I get really excited. I get excited for Connor, for my son. He hangs out with his buddies. He has a better life hobby balance than I did at that age. I was just hyper focused on doing racing and racing things. I'm happy for them when they go and do stupid kid things.
Speaking of stupid kid things, I got to wish my daughter Kenzie happy 18th birthday today. It's been crazy how fast she's gone, and all about the racing. She runs timing and scoring at Washwegan, Merrittville, and Humberstone. So all the best, K-Barry. You're a great kid, and we love you. So send a shout out to my kid there as she celebrates her birthday. Let's have some fun. Time for some Burger Barn videos of the week. As always, Spencer, roll it. Leave our microphones up, and we'll have some fun as we go. I'm not sure what we're getting, but we'll have fun. Oh, so this is a traffic jam, Adam. What better do when you're on the way to races? Traffic stop both ways. This guy gets with the tire grinder. You only got so many minutes to prep your tires, so he's doing it right on the side of the highway.
No time like the present.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Roll the next one. What we got? Oh, this is Nitro Super Bomb. Look at these guys. Okay, you got to watch this again once it's done. These guys are crisscrossing in the air. And how do they not hit each other? It's like a figure eight race in the air, upside down. Two of them were real close there.
Yeah, that sort of thing's pretty awesome.
Nitro Circus, Nitro Bomb. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's pretty wild.
Wow.
We'll show anything motorsports related here. What else we got, Spence? Oh, this is like a dirt road course with mega torquey karts. They almost look like the micro sprints if, like, they have the kind of the attitude of a micro sprint, outlaw. Like an open micro sprint, but they have the kart bodies. Look at these things torquing on.
Man, the way those are digging in, I would assume they're studded tires, but they don't look it. But man, they get all sorts of bite. I
think that's awesome. Like, man.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever want to see something like that, our open karts, our open micros on Thursdays, they're lifting the left front, standing on the wheels like that. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, I thought that was a cool one. What else we got? Oh, okay, so watch these guys. Left screen coming in now. Pit car coming out of control. No brakes, no brakes, no brakes. Oh!
Ouch.
How haven't we seen this at an APC race yet, Adam? Watch that one again, Spencer. So again, a lot of these guys have brakes on them. I'm like, what do you need brakes on these things for? Now I see it. Oh, and all the shit on your head, too. Can't be good.
God.
Now, I got to tell you a story. I don't know if you know this, Adam, before we go to the next one. But we were at Sunset Speedway one of our first years with the APC, and I'm on pit road. They bring out the Pro Lates. Well, all these guys tow out those war wagons and pit carts on the back of a quad. I go running down between the quad and the pit cart full speed to jump over pit wall and don't realize there's about a 2-foot iron bar that's got it connected, and I kicked that thing 1,000 miles an hour. I think if you could have seen my leg, it was like a cartoon where, you know, the bar goes and the leg bulges at the back. I don't know. That full sprint right in that bar hurt a lot. All right, what else we got, Spencer?
Peterborough is nasty. Sunset's tough. I think Peterborough's even worse, that haul down to pit road.
I kicked it. Okay, we showed you sometimes you got to be the worst neighbor. Look at these guys. Now these are the adults. I want to move into that neighborhood. I just want to hang out on Sundays with these guys. Look at that big mowers kicking their ass, too. With the
That's hilarious.
Awesome. I think we got more. Do we still got more, Spencer? Keep them coming if we do. You let us know when we're out. Oh, so that is it. Now we're moving on to car over the fence. Important time of year, parents, grandparents, guardians, friends' favorite thing to say: get away from the fence. Here's a good reason why. Pay attention. Cars can fly. Whoa! Now, kids are standing right there, all over the place. Play it a few more times, Spencer.
Yeah, that could have very easily been bad. We had Mike Iverson do that real similar wreck. You remember that in turn 3, Clinton? It was probably more than 20 years ago. It was more than 20 years ago. Somebody rolled. Was it Freddie General? One of the generals? Rolled, and Iverson got up on top of him, or vice versa, and wound up hitting the light pole about 15 feet up in the air.
Yeah, so the point of the matter is I see parents all the time letting kids play in the dirt right at the bottom of the grandstands. It's just, you know, I even sent one of my racing friends a note last year. He showed a video of Facebook, and he said, great to see the next generation. I said, don't let them play there, please. It's such a bad spot. Yeah, so parents, be careful. When you're at the races, we have signage up that says, watch out for flying anything for a reason. Anything can take flight at the races. including your kids if you're not paying attention. So
public service
wild.
announcement, folks. If I am announcing at a given racetrack, you will not hear me saying get away from the fence. If you're not smart enough to get away from the fence, it is natural selection. Do not ask me to have people get, oh my God, one of my pet peeves. Like, what should we announce? Don't pee off the back of the grandstands. We don't say that, but people don't do it. Just don't do it.
Good point. Good point. Good question, Mike Cura. How was the meeting with the light manufacturer? Yeah, our meeting with the light manufacturer, well, let's just say it's north of $450,000 to change our lights to LED. So we'll be running with the lights we've got at our Shwegan Speedway for the time being. A lot more than we anticipated.
That kind of money to go from the best lighting in Ontario to the best lighting in Ontario. Like if it was bad, yeah.
You know, it's wants and needs, and we don't need it. We just want it, and that's a big number to want something. I think we could do a lot better with that money at other places around the Speedway, like trying to develop Adam's LED finish line bullshit. That's never going to happen while I'm manager, but we can talk and joke about it because it gets everybody riled up.
I love it.
Quick Southern Ontario Motor Speedway update. Do you have the screenshot that they posted on Sunday, Spencer? It was posted by the March family. Said, "Good morning, Southern Ontario Motor Speedway drivers. We're excited that the warm weather is quickly approaching and the 2024 race season is just over a month away. But the March family is still working on some final negotiations with the current track owner, Heinrich Kroger, to finalize this deal, which on our end we are working very hard to do, but need Heinrich's help to make it happen to save the track in season. What I promise to you all today, and this is Sunday, is if this deal does not get finalized before tomorrow, April 8th, I promise to return all monies he has paid. Drivers have paid. Thank you. Happy Sunday, March family." I spoke to Craig March Sr. today, said the lawyers are still working on it. That means just we're going back and forth today. Everybody's still hopeful the deal is going to come together, but they wanted us to get the message out that, as you know, these deals take time, especially when you get lawyers involved and one side wants something and another side wants something else. It does take a while to get that done. So we wish them all the best. We certainly don't want to lose another track here in Ontario. So hopefully they can get it all together and we go racing. And the March family, I can tell you, any bit of talks that have them, they're excited, they're pumped, they're ready to put on the best year for Southern Ontario Motor Speedway. So hopefully they can, dot those I's and cross those T's shortly here and we can get back to it.
Do everyone a favor, folks. Stay off social media. Just let this play out. Your commentary doesn't matter. Mine doesn't matter. Clint's doesn't matter. Let them sort this out. When something is confirmed, bitch all day long. But until then, don't affect the outcome.
I was going to say the same thing. It's too early to complain. We don't know where we're going yet. You shared a letter from Robert Wickens. I didn't get any context, so I'm just going to set it up. We'll show it, and you can run with why you shared it to the group.
Yeah, just a bad wreck for Robert. He was transported to hospital. Thankfully, he was okay. He was being kept around for observation. But as you can imagine, something like that happens, and all of a sudden the comments start lighting up on social media. What's he doing driving a race car? He shouldn't be doing this. What did they think was going to happen? It's just let the guy live his life. He's racing. That's what he wants to do. If anyone deserves to go racing, it's someone who damn near died in a race car, and he's able to make it work. So Wickens appreciates everyone's messages. Thanks to the medical team at the track and here at the hospital for their care. He's feeling good. We'll get some rest here under their supervision this weekend, and he's eager to get back to the track and get to work with BHA. So that's all I put that up for, was send well wishes to Robert Wickens, and hopefully he gets back at it soon.
Couple more things to go. World of Outlaw Chirps, Jacob Allen versus Geoffrey. This was an interesting one. A bit of chirping going back and forth. Adam, what was your take on this one?
Two things. I guess if you're going to live in the public eye and if you're going to make public choices that you make, you're going to open yourself up for scrutiny. At the same time, especially as a mental health advocate, don't pick on someone for their mental health. It's a bad look. I don't know Geoffrey, but now I don't like him.
Do we have the screenshot, Spence? was the yeah, there we go.
So it looks like you saw it without tagging brother. LOL, relax, Toucan Sam. I'm just joking around. Sorry, Jacob. I was just trying to end your night sooner. You don't have to get burnt out and quit like you did last year. And then Jacob Allen replies, I appreciate you for being considerate. So it's all in jest. To me, it's a joke that didn't land very well, if it was in jest. But like I say, I'm not going to be buying a Geo Celsi shirt anytime soon. I don't know him. Never met him. Don't even know people that know him. I have no idea of his character. That just put me off a little.
Fair enough. Jarvis intros and other silly stuff, man. We were watching the some racing from the south on Flow this weekend, and man, I don't even know whether we should pick on them or let it go, but just it seems like pomp and circumstance that doesn't warrant anything. So we're watching the race, and you and I are both watching it. They have a blow-up thing for the drivers to be introduced to. They have two features going on. Well, they introduced both classes at once, which had us both confused about what was going on because we both came in at different times. And then the camera's focusing on the driver coming out for his big introduction, which is cool, I guess. They show him shaking hands with the dignitaries, but then that same camera follows the driver as he turns around and walks 3 steps back to the wall and goes right back to the point he was just at. Like, we need a little bit of suspended belief to believe that the driver's going somewhere other than right back to where he was just standing. And it just showed off that the whole thing seemed contrived and put on, but in a shitty way. You know what I mean?
If you're going to choreograph part of your event, you have to choreograph the whole thing start to finish, right? The tunnel was cool. We're talking about Hickory Motor Speedway for the Cars Tour event. They also had a Pro Late Model event. So it was hard to understand who was being introduced and how that worked. Trayton did have a good run going at Hickory. He got into a tough battle there just before the end, lost some spots, still a top 10 run. I'm pretty sure he finished in the top 10. And so did Kyle Steckley in the Pro Late Model. So exciting for those two young men. But that's and the other fun part, Clinton, is when I start getting texts from you. Hey, are you watching WrestleMania? What? Yeah, I'm watching WrestleMania.
To use a WrestleMania term, I totally marked out this weekend on wrestling. I thought it was amazing. I'll give credit to my new idol, Pat McAfee, who I've been watching a lot lately on the sports talk show stuff. I think Pat's show is a lot of it's just really chill atmosphere, not stuck up. I think it's a vibe that, if anything, it's taught me how to deal with you better, because the dog walks into the set, they don't care. That's not the way we were raised 25 years ago in broadcasting. It's a whole new working from home, chill attitude, and I think the show they got. But Pat, being the announcer for WWE Raw, was part of them, and they had everybody on Friday. And man, I thought WWE did a great job this weekend about just with everything. You know, the surprise finishers, the whole thing was great. I thought it was amazing to see Cody Rhodes. They were really tugging at everybody's emotions. Like, we even talked about the announcer, the ring announcer. She's amazing. And even her getting choked up announcing Cody as the champion. Yes, it's put on. Yes, it's predetermined. But they're still real people living real careers. And I thought the whole thing was really good. It even got me watching Raw last night. And I like, that's 3 straight days of wrestling for me. And that's out of character big time.
So, the Cal Tire store in London, I do some work out of there now, and Carolyn, a girl that does the billing down there, she went down to WrestleMania for the 2 nights and said it was just an unbelievable experience, like to be there and to feel it. But apparently, if you bought ringside seats, you get to keep the seats. So people that were leaving the event, they can't take these seats onto an airplane. So they bought one of the seats for $200. I guess it's a collectible. So that's pretty cool. But I think what wrestling does, and I'm impressed with what UFC is. And I think if anyone has tied it all together, it's UFC, it's Dana White, with taking sports entertainment, but with a legitimate, competitive, unscripted sporting event. right? So WWE is scripted. Now, things do have to change. If you saw, Seth Rollins got injured in his match Sunday night. He got his eye busted up pretty bad. And there was conversation back and forth. You could see him talk to the ref, and the cameras went to a long shot. And then the ref talked to Drew McIntyre. McIntyre. I always get McIntyre and McIntosh mixed up. But it's interesting to watch it all go down in live time, the audibles that they call on the fly. I love that shit.
No, they're booming. Getting close, ready to go racing around here. Make sure everybody gets all their stuff going. It won't be long now, man. We're only a month away, and in some cases 2 weeks away if you're an SOS and the Merrittville Racers. They practice this Saturday, and they're at it in just a couple weeks, I think it is. Yeah, 2 weeks. So it's going to be crazy. April 20th, 3 weeks. No, 2 weeks.
I can't believe Muhammad Ali wasn't already in the WWE Hall of Fame. That surprised me when they did those inductions.
Yeah. Hopefully, what was I going to say there? Are you ready to go racing? Spencer's already showed me the trailer pics today. We'll be moving that on, and broadcast team's just about ready to start pulling out. Track looks dry up there. Greg did a post today. He was up there at the store getting all the new merch ready to go, and the track looks fantastic. I think we're going to be in great shape.
Greg's out of hibernation already?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
See, I just had this really good Adam joke, but I need stuff from Greg right now.
I picture him.
I'm not going to throw Greg under the bus. Not like he ever watches this, but, my phone will blow up in 2 minutes if I say something. So
I picture him coming out of his house, looking up at the sun. He's got a beard like down to here. The time? Do I need to come out?
The eclipse.
That was cool.
Got him switched.
What?
Oh, look at that!
What?
Greg never watches this program.
Ever.
And if he does,
Ever.
he never mentioned it. So see, that's why I said it, man. Oh, that's great.
I can't host Tuesday night. No, I can't help you. I'm always busy on Tuesday night. Screw you, Greg Callan.
I was going to say, he had to get some sun on the solar panel, so he had to get out in the sun today to start getting charged up for the season. That's the best singer I got for you, Greg. But now we appreciate the hell out of Greg and make sure got to keep him happy too. So I need another month, and then I can start throwing real barbs at Greg.
Yeah, don't tell him I said that, but he's pretty good.
He's fully charged now. I don't know what you're doing, bud, but I better start filling up your email, because if you got time to sit around and watch us donkeys, you must need some more work in your inbox. But no, man, it's always great to have the racing family stop by on a Tuesday. We have some great stuff planned. I'm super pumped about the year. It's that you kind of worry and you get, but now I'm excited mode. Let's go.
What's been fun too, Clint, the last few years? You and I have set out with simple goals and warnings to each other, right? Okay. Adam, go easy. Don't be a dick. Don't show up at the track and be a dick to Spencer, because he's already put in hours of hard work. He doesn't need your shit. All right. So I come back I try to show up with a different attitude. Okay, Clint, you try to enjoy yourself. Try to smile when we're here. We got to enjoy this. If we're not enjoying it, what's the point of doing it? So we always have these little mandates to where we try to show up and make things a little bit better for each other.
No, I think that's the best, because, man, we joked about it. I always laughed. How could the Eagles and the Beatles and all these bands who are on top of the world breaking up? And it was just, and then that one summer, a few summers ago, I got it. We were just, if one of us was having a bad day, we took every effort to make sure you had a worse day with jokes. So we now lift each other up, and it's more survivable. Comes with anything. You learn how to live with each other, especially the more days we spend out. Greg gets away from us, though. Like, he gets one night, dips out. We have to hang out all weekend, fly around the country, and, be miserable. So, there's been a lot of debate already. We'll leave you with that. What should I be for the Halloween at the races this year? If my best work was the banana suit last season.
Huh. Let's put some thought into that.
I think a walking cone is taking the cake right now. Is there anything better than me dressing as the cone? What's that, Spencer? The finish line.
There is no small dose of Adam, Greg.
I don't think
Sorry
I'm skinny
about
enough
you.
to be the finish line or brave enough to lay there and let the cars run over top of me.
Oh, can I drive?
I might be brave enough to be the cone live on the track for a choose cone session.
Oof. That'd be fun.
Just a little puckered in my cone suit. Just let me turn the other way, and then I won't be tempted to jump. I'll just don't hit me.
You gotta see it. You gotta face it. Face the cars. Decker, you're gonna get out.
Yeah, shut up, Decker. We got 22 seconds
Right?
to go. There'll be that one driver's like, hey, I've been waiting to dunk this guy for a long time. Dude.
Make it look like an accident. I'd hold my steering wheel right out the window. I can't steer.
Right on. All right, on that note, we're getting out of here. Thanks, everybody, for joining us again on another Tuesday. It won't be long before we have real racing and real racing news to talk about. We appreciate everybody being here. Appreciate our guests, Matt Weaver and Bailey Hurd, and all you guys for hanging out with us. Spencer,
good fun.
as always, and Adam, we'll see you soon, bud.
See you next time.
See you guys.